नमो नमस्ते गुरवे महात्मने विमुक्तसंगाय सदुत्तमाय नित्याद्वयानन्दरसस्वरूपिणे भूम्ने सदा पारदयाम्बुधाम्ने नमस्ते नमस्ते विभो विश्वमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते चिदानन्दमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते तपोयोगगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्य स्वाराज्य साम्राज्य विभूतिरेषा भवत्कृपा श्रीमहिमप्रसादात् प्राप्ता मया श्रीगुरवे महात्मने नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमस्तस्मै सदैकस्मै कस्मै चिन्महसे नमः यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते हरि तत्सत्. So we were in the 8th verse of this chapter. Oh, Shanti Mantra I have not done. This is 3.1.8 Shanti Mantra. Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyam Devaha.
Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyam Devaha.
Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha.
Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha.
Sthirairangaistuštuvamsastanubhih.
Sthirairangaistuštuvamsastanubhih.
Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu.
Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu.
Swasti na indro vruddhashrabaha.
Swasti na indro vruddhashrabaha.
Swasti na pusha vishvavedaha.
Swasti nah pusha vishvavedaha.
Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi.
Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi.
Swasti no brihaspatirdadhatu.
Swasti no brihaspatirdadhatu.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
I think last day I was taking from different scriptures and trying to explain, discuss about how much purity is necessary and what is the way we become pure. So in that process I think some have got confused that sometimes I am saying dhatu prasadat and sometimes I am saying jnana prasadena Vishuddha Sattva. We have to be thinking a little deeper. See, where dhatu means the elements of our being. Jnana is by which the elements of our being will become pure. The Upanishads are not contradictory. In one place they are saying dhatu prasadat atmanaha mahimanam pashyati, that the glory of the Atma, whatever we are talking about, we are reading, theoretically we are discussing, we are trying a lot understanding and to understand what is this Atma. But the fact is that it doesn't become clear. Many people say that it doesn't click. I have studied so much, I have learned so much, but it is not clicking. That where lies the clicking? Why it is not happening? Because our being has not got purified. Dhatu prasadat means elements of our being, the mind, intelligence, emotions. When they leave the raga dvesha, when they leave the ego, when they leave the smallness, the constricted nature, then only our elements of our being, they become prasanna, they become placid, and we are able to see the glories of the Atma, we are able to realize the glories of the Atma. Now here they are saying jnana prasadena Vishuddha Sattva, that how the elements of our being will become pure. It is through knowledge, it is through the jnana. So we have to know that as long as the jnana is only in the intellect, it is not working on the purification of our being, purification of our mind and emotions, it will not work. We have to apply the jnana as a tool. This jnana is not acquiring from the books, from the Upanishads. The reading, studying the Upanishads, pondering over the truths declared in the Upanishad, all these have to be taken as a pursuit by constantly introspecting on that, our being will become purified. That is the jnana prasada, by which the dhatu, the elements of our being get purified and the Atma becomes absolutely clear, brilliant in our mind. So here it is going step by step. What was the first step? First step was, it is bigger than the biggest, smaller than the smallest, subtler than the subtlest. But the Rishi is reminding us, you don't have to go beyond the galaxies or so to find out the Atma or the God or the Paramatma. It is right here within your being. Not only within, it is your real identity. So naturally, to find out, we have to look within. Now the second step was, in looking within, we have a difficulty. That as we are looking out into the world, looking at the objects, gross objects as well as subtle objects, to know what is there in my mind, what are the thoughts. These are subtle objects. The thoughts are subtle objects. The analysis of the intelligence, they are subtle objects. So always we are looking at something different from me. There lies the problem. That we are trying to discover the Atma. Who is that Atma? My real identity. For that we are looking within. But in looking within, even if there also we try to look at something other than myself, then how can we see the self? So it becomes a real problem for most of the seekers, almost all seekers, because we are given to know something different from us. There lies the difficulty or simplicity in spirituality, that you don't have to know anything other than you. Rather stop the tendency to look for something other than myself. So that was caution. Then, even when you discover within, or even if you don't discover within, if you try to perceive and you are on the pursuit, then also there will be a problem that the world brings to you. That is, although in meditation we are alone, we are trying to go within and all, but throughout the day we are engaged in activities, and there we are not able to keep our focus on the Atma. Why? In the beginning, to know the Atma, we had to discriminate the anatma vastus from the Atma and focus on the Atma. Now, when the concept of the Atma has become clear, then we have to know that means Upanishad is telling us that whatever we have called anatma vastu, they are not really different from Atma. They are only expressions of the same Atma. Like just in dream, we are seeing all kinds of things. We are seeing the palace, we are seeing some vehicles, aircraft, we are seeing a war, we are seeing so many things. All these things, they are appearing where? Are they not all appearing in the consciousness? In the dream, who else is there? Whatever, suppose we considered the world to be my outside. In the dream, nothing, all the senses are sleeping. There is no signal from the outside world. So the whole world is created within. They are just, what is there? Within what material is there? It is our consciousness only. In that, the whole dream world is appearing to be. So are not the dream variety, they are all make of consciousness, they are all make of my own mind. So if it is so, then to discover that the real focus of our focus should not be on the various manifested rupas, akaras, the vrittis, but they are all appearing on the Atma, the consciousness. Our focus should be on that. Just like in the sea, can we have the waves without the sea? The waves have to appear on the sea. Is not the sea present in all kinds of waves? Big wave, small wave, medium wave, breakers. Everywhere it is the sea which is manifesting as different waves. So our focus has to shift from seeing the different waves to the sea which is hosting all kinds of waves. In our case, what is that? The consciousness which is hosting the whole perception of the entire universe, that is also is taking place within. Not only that, that consciousness is hosting the sukha as well as dukkha. We are always running after sukha and running away from dukkha. But when we understand that they are just two waves of the consciousness, our own identity, and we find the importance is to that consciousness, not on what are the waves, then we discover the placidity both in sukha and dukkha. Until we generate this sea focus, transfer the wave focus to the sea focus, we will not be able to have the placidity in both. So Atmaupamyena sarvatra, as in Bhagavad Gita it is said that everywhere it is the Atma. It is everywhere. So this, by introspection, we have to come to the conclusion that all the so-called anatma vastu, or so-called which objects, there is nothing at all. The whole objective universe is also an appearance on the Atma. Generally in Shastras we call it superposition or adhyasa. But let us see that it is appearance on the Atma, the consciousness. Now comes the next step, that we are where we are. Let us try start with the shlokas. We just chanted the 8th shloka, I believe. We will start from there. It is the 8th shloka of 3.1.8. na chakshusha grishyate napi vacha,
न चक्षुषा गृह्यते नापि वाचा,
नान्यैर्देवैस्तपसा कर्मणा वा,
नान्यैर्देवैस्तपसा कर्मणा वा,
ज्ञानप्रसादेन विशुद्धसत्त्वः,
ज्ञानप्रसादेन विशुद्धसत्त्वः,
ततस्तु तं पश्यते निष्कलं ध्यायमानः,
ततस्तु तं पश्यते निष्कलं ध्यायमानः.
This we had done. Some other points we will discuss in detail. This Vishuddha Sattva, again I had told earlier also, it is not just the Sattva Guna, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. There, when we become Sattva, we cultivate more and more Sattva Guna. What happens is, in Bhagavad Gita 14th chapter it says that Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate. When the Sattvika Guna, when the Sattva Guna enhances in our being, then Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate jnanam yada. That in every, dwara means the doors of our being, that means the indriyas, the sense organs. Everywhere there is a prakasha, a brilliance comes, which gives a direct perception of the underlying substratum. Jnanam yada. So the jnana starts dawning in us. So those who are asking how, Vishuddha Sattva, naturally the questions have come that, but how, Swamiji? This how will never end unless we pursue what we are studying. Now, how they have told very clearly. He says that first you have to cultivate the Sattva Guna, overcoming the bondages of tamasika inertness and the rajasika egoistic agitation. These have to be overcome by cultivating more and more Sattva Guna. Don't ask why they are. If you have to cultivate Sattva Guna means you have to make all your inputs Sattvika. What are the inputs? It is not only the food through the mouth, the vision through the eyes, the sound through the ears, whatever inputs we are taking, we are interacting with various people throughout the day, and the ultimate input is what we are generating in the mind by reading, by thinking. What are we spending mind hours on? By spending mind hours more and more on the truth, our being will become more and more sattvic. And for that we have to change our food habit, we have to change all the inputs we are taking. You change it and see. There is no point in asking how. You change it and see what happens. You will find that the Sattva Guna is enhancing, and the more and more Sattva Guna comes, we will be able to realize the truth exposed by the Shastras. Nobody will have to explain. When we read the Shastras, you will find that the things are becoming clearer. You are able to have a feel of what the Shastras are speaking. Now, the Vishuddha Sattva comes when we this Sattva Guna also, height of Sattva Guna also, it creates some bondage. We discussed other day also. The bondage to this kind of a spiritual knowledge, the bondage to the Sukha, the subtle Sattvika Sukha it generates. We get bound by that also. That means we are still, the Bhoga Pravritti is there. Bhoga Pravritti means tendency to enjoy. We start enjoying reading the Shastras, we start enjoying listening to that. It is all fine, they are necessary at one point. But at the final point, we have to overcome those bondages also. And how do you do it? Our Shastras clearly say it is by satsanga and surrender. In Srimad Bhagavata as well as Bhagavad Gita, I have shown earlier also that Even in Sattva Guna also, when the bondage is created, we have to become Gunatita. Beyond Gunatita means not that my being will not be constituted of the three gunas. Anything in the universe, whatever manifests, is constituting of three gunas. Not a single guna will be out. The proportion will be different. The ruling will be by different gunas. But what we can do is we can overcome the bondages created by all the three gunas. When we can overcome those bondages, then we become Vishuddha Sattva. When we find that there is no bheda at all, abheda darshanam jnanam. So the jnana state is called Vishuddha Sattva. When he finds the whole universe is actually appearing on my identity, the Atma or the consciousness. So here there is a great indication given. What is that? Na chakshusha grihyate napi vacha na annaihi devaihi tapasa karmanava. That this Atma cannot be attained by any of the sense organs or by words or by worshipping any deva or by austerity of various kinds or by various rituals and other karmas, yaga, jajja, etc. They can fulfill they can make us disciplined, they can purify our mind to some extent, they can fulfill our other desires, many things they may do, but Atma cannot be attained by that. Then how can it be attained? Jnana prasadena Vishuddha Sattva. That the knowledge should be applied and we have to spend mind hours on the truth so that the jnana completely filters our being, completely purifies our being, and we go beyond the bheda buddhi, we become Vishuddha Sattva. Then what happens? Tatastutam pashyate nishkalam dhyayamanaha. Then what does he see? That nishkalam dhyayamanaha. This dhyana, it is not just the yoga dhyana where the mind becomes free of all vrittis or free of all thoughts. It is a dhyana where it is nishkalam. Nishkalam means where there is no part at all. There is no limit to anything, no akara, no form, nothing. Nishkalam, kala means the divisions, various aspects, various parts. There is no bheda at all. That is called nishkala. Now this nishkalam dhyayamanaha pashyate. So what do we have to become? We have to take these two together. On one hand, introspection on the shastric truth, whatever the shastras are saying, the Upanishads are saying. We have to use that whatever knowledge we are gaining, introspect on that so that our being gets purified by that. On the other hand, when the mind is still active, in that active state, we cannot really get dissolved in the truth. So as people say that it is not clicking, the fact is that they are not given to the dhyana. That is not, it's not clicking. It is not just the dhyana to become mindless or mindful or anything. It is a dhyana means which our Upanishads call as nididhyasana. By constantly thinking, constantly contemplating on the truth, the mind must get dissolved in the truth, and the truth will automatically become brilliant within. So this nishkalam dhyayamanaha is the great instruction given here. How will you become Vishuddha Sattva? By surrendering all efforts, by winning over all the bondages created by the three gunas. Okay, but then also we don't become really Vishuddha Sattva because we are not able to have the dhyana of the nishkala, of the partless, limitless, abheda tattva, the truth. So parallelly we have to get into the silence, into the serenity of our meditational practice, where by thinking of the Atma we get completely dissolved in that Atma. Then only this Atma will shine within with its brilliance. So we should not, these are instructions that, well, we are doing the interactional sadhana. What is that? Throughout interactions we are purifying our mind by removing the ego, removing the raga dvesha. But you have to have enough of poise to look into it. Even the interactional sadhana will not be proper. You are not looking into. You will find, when you really look into your mind, you will find subtle egos are still pursuing, still continuing. There will be subtle, we call it bhoga pravritti. In Mandukya Karika it is called kashayam. Sa kashayam vijaniyat. Know that it is the remaining subtle desires in your mind. You will find still there is expectation. You are not able to accept anything that Providence brings with equanimity, equality or evenness. There are subtle expectations that people should appreciate you or honor you, or even if it is not so, people should love you, or so many subtle things. You have to go into it and find out what is hindering this blossoming of within, the blossoming of the truth within. So interactional sadhana, to pursue during the interaction, to pursue this goal, I said other day and quite a few days that Atma has to be first known and then it has to be established in all interactions throughout the day, in all our world, that there is nothing other than Atma. How do you do it? All the Atmic dimensions, Atmic parameters, that is the unaffectedness, unfragmentedness, untaintedness, all those things we have to incorporate in our daily interactions. It is true, otherwise we will not know what are the constrictions hiding in our mind. But that also, to make it fulfilling, we have to undertake the meditational process, where it is not the ordinary meditation, but with knowledge you meditate, with the knowledge of the Atma you meditate, and you can't completely get dissolved in the concept of the Atma. Nishkalam dhyayamana. When you do the dhyana on the Atma, Atma is nishkala. Atma doesn't have any part. And when we say it doesn't have any part, the most important point is it is not even divided by the subject and the object. I am the subject, I am looking at the Atma. Atma becomes an object. No. It has to transcend the subject-object duality also. Nishkalam means that the ultimate part is the subject-object division. So knowing that, we have to get into that and completely get dissolved in that. If you try to do it initially, you find the mind is not going. The mind is running here and there. That means there is still bhoga pravritti. You still want something from the world. That is why there is still some fear in your mind that there is a bhoga pravritti. Why do we have fear of death? Because we want to enjoy the world. Without that, there won't be any fear at all. So all those things which are looking for something different from the identity, the Upanishad will tell more and more about this pursuit. That as long as we are looking for something different, the attainment will not be there, the clarity will not come. They have said that earlier also in Katha Upanishad we have done it. Nayama atma pravachanena labhyo na medhayana bahuna shrutena yamevaisha vrinute tena labhya tasyaisha atma vivrinute tanun swam. It cannot be attained by prakrishta vachana, by analysis, explanation and all that. Na medhaya na bahuna shrutena. It cannot be attained by great talent, power of your mind, or you have listened to many great saints. No. The one thing which, if it is missing, all these things will help, but for the ultimate attainment, you have to do the varana for the Atma. Varana means, as in marriage we put the varanamala, the garland, on one in ignoring all others, we are putting it on one. Like that, leaving apart the whole universe, we have to embrace the Atma. Then the Atma will reveal itself. All these verses, these mantras, what are they saying? They are saying repeatedly that always we are looking for something different from the Atma, something different from me, something second we are looking for. I am the first and looking for something second always. As long as we are looking for the second, how can you know the Atma? When all the second and third and multiplicity, everything is gone. So far Atma was revealing the multiplicity of the world. Now the Atma, not having anything more to reveal, it reveals itself. It is Swayam Prakashaha. You don't have to see it as, oh, this is the Atma. You cannot. It has to be self-revealing. So the hindrance comes from our tendency to see something different from me. So he says, Jnana Prasada, this is knowledge. Now this knowledge we have to apply to us. By that, we have to win over all our bhoga pravrittis, the tendency to enjoy the world, getting something from the world. All these have to be completely outlived. Then only we will be able to have the Nishkalam Dhyana. And that will take us to that Vishuddha Sattva we discovered there will make us Vishuddha Sattva. Next, 9th. Esho nuratma cetasa veditavyah.
Esho nuratma cetasa veditavyah.
Yasmin prana panchadha samvivesha.
Yasmin prana panchadha samvivesha.
Pranaishchittam sarvamotam prajanam.
Pranaishchittam sarvamotam prajanam.
Yasmin vishuddhe vibhavatyeshatma.
Yasmin vishuddhe vibhavatyeshatma.
Now he is saying Eshaha Atma Anuhu. That means this Atma is very subtle. Anu means atom. It's not the smallness they are meaning. It's extreme, the subtlety they are meaning. It is extremely subtle. See, even to understand the subtlety of the ultimate truth in science, in physics or so, you will find that it's very, very difficult to get into it, have a feel of it, unless you are able to forget everything and go into it. Forgetting everything, you will not be able to understand in depth. So any subtle thing to understand, it needs a dhyana, which is for this Atma, which becomes nididhyasana, tailadharavat manogati. That mind will become like the flow of the oil, it will continuously be associated with the Atma, Atma Vritti or Brahma Vritti. He confirms that Cetasa Veditavyaha. It has to be known by the Chetas. That means you can say mind and intelligence are all together by the Chitta, or you can say that the mind which is opening up to knowledge, which is blossoming with the knowledge, normal mind which is under the ken of duality, raga dvesha, and the subject-object duality, will not be able to understand. But that by the same mind, by outliving these dualities, we have to understand this subtle Atma. Why? Because unless the mind becomes the Atma, we will not understand. What do we understand? When we understand anything, the mind becomes that. That is how we understand. Unless the mind takes that Nishkala form, we will not understand the Nishkala Atma. So it has to be understood by the Chetas. Yasmin pranaha panchadha samvivesha. Now where is the difficulty? Because our Chitta is always giving rise to variety. Always. It is not allowing us to meditate on the one. It is always raising all variegated thoughts. So he says that here is the clue, how you dissolve that variety into oneness. Yasmin pranaha panchadha samvivesha. That the life force is only one, which has entered in our being and is expressing itself in a fivefold manner, panchadha. That means all the five sense perceptions. Without the life, the senses will not have the perception. For the senses to become animated, active, the life forces have to animate them. Now that life force is the same, just like I said the other day that the electricity is becoming the fan, wind is becoming the light, is becoming the sound. So it is manifesting as multiple, various things. But is it not the same electricity? We are missing that electricity. Nobody sees the electricity. We only see what has gone. If the electricity is there, even then the light is not there, we will think that the electricity is gone. We are not looking at our focus is not on the electricity, our focus is only on the whatever as the manifestations. So they are saying in our within also, suppose in dream, do we not have all the five perceptions? We are hearing sound, we are seeing so many things, variegated things. We are having that taste of what we do not get even in non-dream state, we are getting it in dream and relishing it. We are hearing so many sounds, so many touches, everything is there in the dream. Is it not all within myself? Is there any object from the world which is creating that? It is the life force, it is the consciousness which is manifesting in this Panchadha manifestation, in this fivefold manifestation, which is appearing as many. Now if your focus is on that consciousness of the life force which is becoming multiple by expressing itself through fivefold manner, through the five senses, sense perceptions, then we will be able to boil down, we will be able to collect our mind or converge our mind to the oneness of the Atma. So they are saying that whenever these waves of five perceptions are coming, see the sea, not the waves. That sea is manifesting as the five waves. Our mind is always going to the waves from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, all these waves of different kinds and so. Whatever we are seeing, it is made of these five sense perceptions. There is nothing else other than these. And some mental also, whatever the reactions in the mind are created by that, all these are there in the dream. Now when we are seeing them, our focus is all on what we are seeing, not on the sea. So he is saying even in the Jagrat also, when we are awake also, it is all those five perceptions which are occurring in our within. But we are missing the revealer of all those perceptions. So always try to, when you are even meditating, know that the thoughts are not disturbance, but they are only waves in the sea. The focus should be on the sea, not on the waves. Then the thoughts will come and you will carry the thoughts with you. Nothing will happen, nothing will disturb you. You will get merged in the sea. And although the thoughts are there, the waves are there, you will be able to identify the Nishkalam Dhyayamana. The Nishkala Atma. So he says, Pranaish Chittam Sarvam Otam Prajanam. By this prana, the life force, or you can say Atma, both meaning can be here. All the chitta, whatever thoughts and analysis and whatever is happening in the chitta, in our mind and intelligence, they are all amalgamated with this prana. Without that, no animation will be there. The other day I said that the computer, it does many more things which we cannot do also, but the poor fellow doesn't know what he is doing because the knowledge part is not there. In our case it is not so. What we are able to do, not able to do, all these we are coming to know. Because everywhere, every perception, without the I it cannot take place. The I is there in Pratibodha Viditam Matam. In Pratibodha, in every perception the I is there. Without that there cannot be any perception at all. But that I is Otam, is getting amalgamated with the 5 Panchadha Sammivesha, the 5-fold expression of the Atma through the 5 senses. Fortunately we have only 5. Suppose we had 15, then we would have been in more trouble. There is a shloka which says that each animal where one sense is strong, they are getting killed because of that. But in the human we have all those 5 senses, so you can easily imagine the condition of the human. Pranaish chittam sarvamotam prajanam yasmin vishuddhe vibhavati esha atma. Esha atma vibhavati yasmin vishuddhe. What vishuddhe? This is called sati saptami, means condition. When the chitta gets purified, vishuddhe sati, Atma, Eshaha Atma Vibhavati. Now what is this purification? The chitta which is always producing this multifarious perceptions, that bheda has to be taken to abheda. That means those multifarious perceptions will have to be dissolved in the one revealer, the consciousness, the Atma, the identity. That is the purification of the chitta. Abheda drishti. When that is done, then what happens? Esha Atma Vibhavati. This Atma Vibhavati Visheshena Prakashayati. That V means it is no more an idea and an ambiguity will not be there. Oh, it is like this, it is like that. No, it is not like anything that we think of. Anything that we can think of, all have to be eliminated. Then whatever remains, that is the Atma. But that you don't have to argue or you have to analyze or you have to understand anymore. It becomes absolutely, brilliantly experiential, where there is no effort at all. Vibhavati, Vishesha Rupena. You understand that actually it is not Rupa, it is Swaprakasha. When all the Rupas have gone, then it is this. And what are the Rupas, what are the Akaras, what are the other forms and all? They are also a manifest form of this. Now, so in our step, where have we gone now? They have said that the oneness has to be discovered in everything. So from manifoldness we have to go to the oneness. Then what are the troubles there? The one trouble is that initially to discover the Atma, the trouble was we are looking for something other than us. Then to discover this oneness, where is the trouble? The trouble is our mind is always fragmented. It has the raga and dvesha. It still lingers with the bhoga pravritti. Why do you do meditation? Because of the bhoga pravritti. In meditation, if you get some silence and something which you like, you want to get that alone again and again, and you get stuck there. Because still the bhoga pravritti is there. The bhoga pravritti was earlier for the worldly objects, now it is for a silence where getting out of the world, that is the bhoga pravritti. You enjoy that. This enjoying something different from what is natural, what I am, as long as it is there, Vishuddha Sattva will not come. So this Yasmin Vishuddhe means this has come to beyond the, transcend the subject-object duality also, so that it lands on the Vishuddha Sattva. Then the Atma becomes very clearly visible. Visible means not to the Indriyas, of course. In one place Shankaracharya has said that Jnana prasadena Vishuddha Sattva. He said that not Ishvara prasadena, Ishvara prasadena. We always say by the grace of God, by the grace of God. He says that by the grace of God we are led to the path of jnana. Otherwise we will go on doing other things, various rituals, various performances and so many things as exercises, various exercises. Actually this sadhana doesn't need any exercise. It needs a very fond yearning, like putting the Varanamala on the Atma. So he says that Ishvara Prasadena, we develop the liking for this, discovering this truth, for the knowledge. And the Vishuddha Sattva comes by the Jnana Prasada. So the Prasada, there are two steps. By Ishvara Prasada we develop taste for this knowledge, and by knowledge Prasada we get rid of the Bheda Buddhi, Raga Dvesha and everything. Because Jnana means Abheda. Oh, I was telling that what are the steps. Now they have told that how by understanding that it is the one which is creating the multiplicity in our mind, and the Atma is one on which all this display is taking place, our focus has to be shifted to the displayed items, to the Atma. This part we have known. Now again there will be why, how do we do, Swamiji? So he is replying here in this last mantra and the next two mantras of the next chapter. Why the chapter has been divided here, I don't know. So here a great mantra which is speaking about the knower and the role of the knower. Often it is in the Shastra's translation and interpretation, it is called Arthavada. Arthavada means you highlight the state of the knower so that people are attracted to that. It is not Arthavada at all, it is absolutely true. It may be called Arthavada, but for a knower it is absolutely true. What they are saying, let us see. Yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati,
yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati,
Vishuddha Sattva kamayate yamscha kaman,
Vishuddha Sattva kamayate yamscha kaman,
yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati,
yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati,
Vishuddha Sattva kamayate yamscha kaman,
Vishuddha Sattva kamayate yamscha kaman,
tam tam lokam jayate tamscha kaman,
tam tam lokam jayate tamscha kaman,
tasmadatmajñam hyarchayet bhuti kamaha,
tasmadatmajñam hyarchayet bhuti kamaha.
The next verse in the next chapter, the first verse is Savedaitat paramam brahmadhama,
Savedaitat paramam brahmadhama,
yatra vishvam nihitam bhati shubhram,
yatra vishvam nihitam bhati shubhram,
upasate purusham ye hyakamaha,
upasate purusham ye hyakamaha,
te shukrame tadativartanti dhiraha,
te shukrame tadadivartanti dhiraha.
I will go into the Anvaya of these also, the prose form. But what it is saying is, yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati. That samvibhati, samyak vibhati, that by the mind, loka means bhoga, where there is bhoga, wherever there is something to enjoy, that is called loka. Loka means our whole being is always attracted to various lokas, either on this earth or elsewhere in heaven or so. Those are all lokas. Loka means anywhere there is a bhoga involved. So he says, Vishuddha Sattva kamayate yamscha kaman. A Vishuddha Sattva, if he desires, the word used is desires, but if he thinks of any such loka where there is something worldly prosperity or anything worldly. Now the question will be that why should a Vishuddha Sattva still have desire? No, he will not have desire. Now the next portion of this Upanishad will go on saying about desire, that he cannot have desire. Then where is the question of kamayate yamscha kaman? What kind of kama he will want? So the question comes that he may want something to be done to somebody, say from the world, for the world also, he wants something to happen. If he thinks about it, samvibhati, if he thinks about it strongly, then that will happen. If it is for because his mind, the speciality of a knower is that he has eliminated all the kamas, the usual desire motivated actions are no longer valid for him. He has removed remove means they have become redundant, because he knows the uselessness of any desire, because the whole Prakriti is functioning with the three gunas. In that, my body, mind, personality also is doing its work. If the mind thinks something, it is the Prakriti which has incorporated that thought in the mind, and that will be done in the Prakriti. Now what is the difference with other people? In other people there will be lot of desires, contradictions, etc. working which will retard or hinder the natural flow of the river of his mind. For a knower, he is flowing like a river. The natural flow of the river is there. In that, it is in tune with infinitude, you can say infinity, or it is in tune with the fundamental law of providence, of nature. Vishuddha Sattva mind is that which is not creating any desireful waves which goes against the natural laws. So in such a mind which is always in tune with nature, any thought coming means it is nature's thought, it is nature's wave. So it will get fulfilled. May not be immediately, but it will have its course in the nature and it will be fulfilled. Suppose somebody has come and the knower feels that such a good person, for unnecessarily some karma will be there. Karma means whatever he has done in earlier life or somebody else has done in earlier, various things are there. The whole universe is moving by causality. There is no point in going behind the cause. For something it has happened, but he is a good person, he should not suffer like that. If the thought comes to the knower's mind in that manner, it will be happening it will bring in that development to the person who has come to him. I don't know whether I am clear. In Sudama episode of Krishna, that is what has been pointed out. Sudama went to his childhood friend Krishna, and what happened? There he brought some only bitten rice for Krishna, whatever he could. He was very poor, extremely poor. He was not able to have even meals. With that he had come to his friend and he offered to him. But in Sudama's mind there was no expectation, no desire at all. His mind also was free of all kinds of desires. Now what happened with Krishna? When Sudama goes back, he finds that a beautiful building has come and his wife is very happy, having all the prosperity and all. What has happened? Krishna's mind, it worked that this man is suffering, at least his wife is suffering, they are still poor. And in the story it is said that when Krishna was trying to take one more grasp, one more morsel from the bitten rice Sudama had brought, Rukmini held his hand. No, this is enough, not more than this. This is a story way of telling it. That means whatever is necessary, it has been done. Prosperity also should not go beyond a certain limit. It will not be helpful, it will be harmful. So the mind has to think and it will happen. That is what they are saying. Tam tam lokam jayate tamscha kaman. By that wave which has risen in the mind of the knower, that will win over that whatever loka he has been thinking of. It will come by itself. Because as desire is a force, it manifests in various ways to have its fulfillment. These waves, sankalpa, we don't say desire in the case of a knower, we say sankalpa. Sankalpa means a strong thought to purify the world or to bring some change in the world. That works in the knower's mind. And his sankalpa works through the world, bringing all the changes in the world. So he works like in tune with the God, doing the welfare, working for the welfare of the society. Tasmat atmajyam hi archayet bhutikamaha. See, very strongly he says, he atmajyam hi archayet. Archayet means bediling. Therefore, a bhutikamaha. Bhutikamaha means those who want prosperity. Even if you want prosperity and in your wanting there is nothing wrong, no corruption element in it, you go and worship the Atmajya, worship the knower. What does it mean? Not by worshipping the Deva. There your worship only works. The Deva doesn't do anything. In this case, if you can generate a sympathetic wave in the mind of the Atmajya, your desire will be fulfilled. So he is saying it is not for the Atmajya's desire, but a person who is devoted or who is simple or who is coming with surrender and all with a good intention, his desires will be fulfilled by worshipping the Atmajya. Now in this verse here says, Bhuti Kamaha. If you are desirous of something prosperity, then you go and worship the Atmajya. In the next verse he would say that if you can, if your mind is also pure and you don't want any worldly prosperity, then you will be, by worshipping the Atmajya, you will be freed of all the bondages, of all the causality that is operating. That means birth and death, as we say. It is birth and death is actually the causal world. You will be able to transcend the causal world and become a Vishuddha Sattva also. So in any case, it is in one way you are directed to go and worship the Atmajya. Why? Because whether your prosperity, desire for prosperity is fulfilled or not, if it is rightful desire, then it will be fulfilled. If it is not, it may not be fulfilled. But the Shastras are trying to take you to the satsang somehow. You go to an Atmajya, his association will be always purifying a person, always be beneficial for the world. That is why they say that the knowers should have parivrajana, they should move in the world, they should move from village to village. Earlier days there was no aircraft or anything, they used to go from village to village, passing through the localities so that people can get into their association. Even our Baba and those who have got initiated in Dakshin Khanda from Swami Narayana Tirtha Dev, it is because of Swami Narayana Tirtha Dev's parivrajana life that they have come in touch with him and they got initiated. And more than 100 years have passed, we are getting the benefit of this. How much of welfare a knower does to the world, it cannot be estimated at all. It continues for eternity. Whatever Shankaracharya has done, we are reading that and we are getting benefited, we are getting purified by that. Otherwise, who would have deciphered these Upanishads? It is only because of his interpretation that they are living with so much of vitality even now. So it is to highlight the knower's importance so that we can grow Shraddha towards the knower. That Shraddha is not for the knower's benefit. By that, knower will not become bigger. The Shraddha is we should value this knowledge. And who is holding the knowledge? Who is the custodian of this knowledge? The knower is the custodian of this knowledge. Somehow or other you get in touch with him, get in the association of the knower. Your worldly desires, if they are rightful desires, they will be fulfilled. Not only that, if you can get rid of your worldly desires, your ultimate goal of life also will be fulfilled. This is what these mantras are going to say. This is so great, we cannot just measure that how clearly, it's seldom the Upanishad does such clear declaration, such clear mention. It is not at all Arthavada. It is great signal, it's a great instruction for everybody. He has used Vidiling, that is, he archayet, only archayet. You do worship, even if you are a seeker of prosperity. I will just go through the Yam Yam Lokam Vishuddha Sattva. This the subject is Vishuddha Sattva. That means Shuddhanta Karanaha Atmajyaha. Manasa Yam Yam Lokam Samvivahati Sankalpayati. Thinking of the world or thinking of others or anything, whatever sankalpas come to his mind, the mind of a Vishuddha Sattva. Yan kaman bhogan cha api kamayate. Whatever he thinks of the worldly prosperity or anything. Tam tam lokam tan kaman cha jayate. That sankalpa, tan kaman means that his sankalpa brings in all that development which his mind is thinking of. Because the wave in his mind is a wave in the fundamental law of nature. He is in tune with the fundamental law of nature. His mind giving rise to a wave means it is Providence's wave. It will have its own fructification, fulfillment. As our Swamiji always says, the mother's son is in danger. Will not any mother think of the welfare of the son? But the mother who is crying and wailing and thinking of why did it happen to oh God, why did you do this to my son, and crying and wailing, the effect of such a mind on the son, whatever will happen, will be many times more if the mother has a peaceful mind thinking of welfare of all the sons and all the mothers in the world. His mind will automatically have a sankalpa for the son also, that the son should become all right. But he is not giving any particular focus to that, but his mind remains absolutely free of the constrictions created by the accident. Then her mind remains in harmony with the nature's laws. So such a mind will bring in the greatest benefit, the greatest development for the injured son or the ailing son. The other mother's mind will not so much. So it is always to keep the mind desire free. That is the indication of that is the instruction of the Shastras, that a desire free mind is tremendously powerful. The power of a mind which is free of desire is tremendous, because it is in harmony with nature. It is in harmony with the fundamental tune of Providence. In great association you will find, generally we don't talk about these things at all. But in some cases I found that it has to be mentioned, so there I have mentioned. Certain incidents are there. I won't tell that, you should read. So, tam tam lokam tan cha jayate tasmat bhuti kamaha atmajyam hi archayet. All those who are interested in prosperity should worship the Atmajna. By that there will be both material prosperity as well as the ultimate beatitude. Savedai paramam brahmadhama
Savedai paramam
ब्रह्मधामा
यत्र विश्वं निहितं भाति शुभ्रम्
यत्र विश्वं निहितं भाति शुभ्रम्
उपासते पुरुषं ये ह्यकामाः
उपासते पुरुषं ये ह्यकामाः
ते शुक्रमेतदतिवर्तन्ति धीराः
ते शुक्रमे तदतिवर्तन्ति धीराः
सः वेद एतत् सः एतत् परमं ब्रह्मधामा वेदा. That means that Atmajna Purusha, that previous whatever he has said, that Atmajna Purusha, the knower, etat paramam brahmadhama veda. This, see, he is no more saying that. Etat. Generally when we start God, it is somewhere else. But once we come to the Atma, everything, it is here, it is this, it is this. Then it becomes direct realization. Etat paramam brahmadhama veda. He knows this supreme Brahman, which is the refuge of everything. Dhama, that is why they have said Dhama, that abode, which is the refuge of everything, the whole universe, refuge of everybody, refuge for the sinner as well as the saint. He knows. Saha Veda, sa etat paramam brahmadhama vedat. Yatra vishvam nihitam bhati shubhram. Yatra nihitam vishvam shubhram bhati. That where the whole universe, Vishwa, is kept, nihita, or you can say is surrendered, has taken refuge. It cannot exist without the consciousness. That is the substratum on which the universe is appearing. The Atma is the refuge of the whole universe. And when you understand, when you know this Paramam Brahmadhama, then the universe which appears in this Atma also becomes Shubhra, because it is nothing other than the Atma. Do you get it? Normally the whole universe is full of variegated things. Some I like, some I do not like, raga, dvesha, everything is going on. But when we find that this Vishwa is Paramam Brahmadhama, it is surrendered, it is appearing in the Supreme Brahman, then everything becomes Brahman. So it becomes Shubhra. Shubhra means where there is no division, no color difference, no division at all, unfragmented reality. Even the subject-object division is not there. Upasate ye hi akamaha purusham upasate yatra vishwam nihitam bhati shubhram. Ye akamaha means those people who are bhoga trishna rahitaha. In the earlier he said bhuti kamaha. Here he is saying akamaha. Bhuti kamaha is those who have who looks for prosperity, worldly prosperity. They should go and worship. Now he says that one who has become free of desires, worldly desires, akamaha, if he worships this Atmajna Purusha, then what will happen to him? Te etat shukram ativartte dhiraha etat shukram ativartanti. Te dhiraha means the person who is free of kama means he is a dhiraha, he is the wise person, because he has understood the futility of all desires, that one will never get fulfilled by getting anything from the world. One who has understood that, he is a dhiraha, he is a wise person. So to become akamaha, only a dhiraha can become akamaha, or only an akamaha can become a dhiraha. So such a person, when he worships the Atmajna, then by that what happens? He also attains the same status of the Atmajna. Shukrameta dativartanti. He crosses over. The Shukra means the seed of our body. You can say the seed of our Dehatma Buddhi, that is body-mindedness. You can say in the other way also that Shukram Ativartanti means he transcends Shukra. That means he transcends birth and death. Shukra is the semen which is the cause of birth. Now that is the common gross sense, that he will no more be born and all, we can say. But it is in much deeper sense that he overcomes the cause of our bondage, the cause of our dehatma buddhi, our body sense. So they completely get their freedom into the world of Brahman, into the truth, the brilliance of Brahman. Te dhiraha etat shukram ativartanti. They overcome, they outlive the seed for the body. Saha etat paramam brahmadhama veda yatra vishwam nihitam shubham bhati. Ye janaha akamaha san tam purusham atmajnam upasate te dhiraha etat shukram ativattanti atitam gacchanti atitya gacchanti. I will take up the next verse next day. So, where have we come then? From there, from the beginning, that looking within, to going beyond the divisions, reaching the oneness, then coming to that the one has become everything, getting over raga dvesha and all the bheda buddhi, then coming to Vishuddha Sattva state. And how do you get the Vishuddha Sattva state? They have said that to get rid of the kama. And how do you do it? Go to a Atmajna. At least first have the satsanga. Go to a person who has already won over, who has already gone across this worldly ocean. And his sangha will not only give you prosperity if you are a seeker of prosperity, but if you, by your intelligence, you can become a dhiraha, understanding that the desires are absolutely redundant, they don't have any meaning, then by worshipping him, you will also become like him. Shukrameva ativartante. Shukrametad ativartante. You go beyond the seed of body identity. That means you get to that identity of real identity with the Brahman. Okay. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha.
Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha.
Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha.
Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha.
Sthirairangaistuštuvamsastanubhihi.
Sthirairangaistuštuvamsastanubhihi.
Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu.
Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu.
Swasti na indro vriddhashavaha.
Swasti na indro vriddhashavaha.
Swasti na pusha vishvavedaha.
Swasti na pusha vishvavedaha.
Swasti na stakshyo arishtanemihi.
Swasti nastaksho arishtanemihi.
Swasti no brihaspatir dadhatu.
Swasti no brihaspatir dadhatu.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.